Begin.
Hello, everybody. We are live now on Twitch. So I'm Ryan Birmingham. I'm the CEO of the Virtual Athletics League. We're here doing the panels for the VR Winter Games. This is our twice annual event. We did this last summer. Look forward to doing it again this summer, and then in the winter again. So today we have a panel on one of my favorite subjects. Also, some brief notes and announcement. This is our last panel of today. Then we have two surprise panels tomorrow we've been working on for a minute. So we have Tommy Palm, the CEO of Blaston and Resolution Games, the creator of Candy Crush. He'll be talking with Vanessa. She is on the Wands development team with Cortopia Studios, both coming out of Stockholm, Sweden. Then later that at 11 Mountain Time, 10 Pacific, we have Todd from The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, if I can talk still at the end of today. He is teaming up with Cameron Altman on the Pistol Whip team to talk about gun fu and gun crafting. So those will be tomorrow. You can check those out on our website. Those will be up. But tonight, we are chatting about some of my very most favorite subjects. We are chatting about rhythm games. So that is one Val favorite. So yeah, thanks guys for making those. So it also looks like we lost Bruno for just a second from the BoomBox team, but hopefully we can add him back in here. But we'll just start with intros, and if he joins, we'll start with an intro right after that. So I'm going to go around as I see people on screen. We got Alex. If you want to introduce yourself first, I think you've done this a couple times today. But
yep. Hey, I'm Alex Rodriguez, and I'm with BoomBox for community engagement.
Very cool.
Hey,
Alex, what was your background prior to BoomBox?
Before BoomBox, I was managing communities for other VR rhythm games, and as well as organizing tournaments.
Very cool. All right, nice. Tim.
Yeah, hi, I'm Tim. I work as a producer at our company's called emergeWorlds, and we're in Brisbane, Australia. And yeah, our game is called Dance Collider. It's a sort of futuristic rhythm music game. It's got characters and all sorts of cool music in it. So yeah, I produced that. And yeah, we're a small team of, we've got about 3 people. So we're a small indie team working on that. But my role is sort of mainly producer on that with other things as well. So hello.
Nice. Very nice. And hello to you guys in Australia. Good day, as they say.
Yeah, it's really, we're in Brisbane, so it's quite warm here today. So it's
very
beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Ben?
Hey, how's it going? My name is Ben Ward. I'm creative director of emergeWorlds, and I think Tim's opened with a good opening about our game Dance Collider. My background is a concept artist, so that's what I've generally been doing for the last 20 odd years. But now, being in an indie studio, you kind of wear about 20 hats, as it were.
Always, yeah.
So my everyone's breadth of skills multiplies once you go indie. So that's also been fun.
Yeah, kind of startups. You do taxes and art and design and business and hopefully less taxes and all the other stuff. So,
everything. Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
That's right.
Okay, and then Bruno.
Hi everyone, my name is Bruno. I'm one of the programmers at BoomBox. I'm mainly responsible for the editor, and from time to time I also help the rest of the team, basically on the environment system that we currently have. And yeah, that's basically like all the, like in general, but mainly the editor. That's been what I've been working on lately.
Very cool. Nice. We'll definitely have an editing question here. All right, so I'm going to jump right into the questions. What was and we'll go in the same order again. What was your very first time playing a VR rhythm game, and what did you think? So, Alex.
All right, so I think it was back in 2016. I actually played on my friend's Vive for the first time, and my first ever VR experience was Audio Trip. Or sorry, not Audio Trip.
Audio Shield.
Yeah. Audio Shield, that's right. And so I had a lot of fun with that. It wasn't until like 2 years later that I got VR for myself to play other VR rhythm games as well.
For sure. Very cool. Yeah, that actually was my very first time playing a VR rhythm game too. Was Audio Shield back in our own arcade. So very nice. Tim?
Yeah, same as me.
Audio Shield, yeah.
Audio Shield. Yeah, I remember we were actually, me and Ben were thinking of some ideas for a rhythm game before we played Audio Shield. We'd had a go of the Oculus Dev kit, and did some of the more sort of film-like experiences in there, and we're like, oh, this VR is awesome. It's so immersive. You know, what can we do? And so we came up with a few ideas for a rhythm game that was a little different to Dance Collider as it currently is. But yeah, we then had to go with Audio Shield, and we're like, this is super cool. There's definitely potential in this idea, and gets you moving and everything. So yeah, that was the first one for me as well. Yeah.
Very, very nice. Ben, same for Audio Shield?
Exactly the same. Exactly the same, Audio Shield. But I mean, I'll add something, I guess, as well. Non-VR games obviously also had an influence. So, DDR, Dance Dance Revolution, games like that also influenced the way we designed. So it was a combination, I think, VR and non-VR games in our case.
Yeah, I guess we can't be VR purists here and pretend like dance games and rhythm games never existed prior to VR. Seems like it sometimes, but there was, Just Dance is on season 10 or like the 10th version, right?
Yeah.
And then DDR, right? DDR was like the game to play in middle school and high school. And those were like some of the very first viral videos on YouTube, right? Like, you can leave that on handles,
Yeah.
Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, right.
All right, Bruno.
I'm in the same channel. Actually, I played a lot of DDR before, but if I have to refer to VR games, is the same one. Like Audio Shield was the very first experience, and I was very lucky because where I was working on, people started to play that game during lunch breaks. So I didn't know about the game, but there was a lot of fuss about, this new rhythm game and the new rhythm game. So we started gathering, and because of that game, I bought my Vive. That was the reason why I bought it.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Someday, we actually, I think we've tried to reach out to Audio Shield, but I think it's just a solo one dev, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think so. Yeah.
But whoever you are out there, Audio Shield developer, thank you for inspiring everybody else on starting a trend. So, and thank you for making a great game. So, all right. So that's great. Fantastic to know that. The next question is actually just about themes, right? So, for the Dance Collider team, it's one of my favorite themes for VR. It's like a nightclub, right? And you have Uriel, right? He's kind of like the guy you want to defeat.
The bad guy.
Yeah, he's like the bad dude. He's like the dancer, like with a full like ego, right? That's
right.
Can you kind of explain like the backstory, the lore, some of the design choices that went into that?
Sure. I mean, well, Tim, did you want to start with the background story, and maybe I can kind of talk about the art side of that? Maybe that we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Initially with Dance Collider, we also love fighting games like Street Fighter 2 and Tekken and those types of games. So we were looking at creating a rhythm game that had a world based around it, a futuristic sort of cyberpunk world with characters like you see in Street Fighter and those types of games. And we initially, our world was sort of, we based it in the future. So it had this whole system of you have influence in this world, and the better sort of dancer you are, the more influence you have in the world and the higher you rank. And
like street cred almost.
Yeah, you move up. You move up sort of street, with your street cred, and the higher rank, the more power you've got in the world. And the overseeing being of the world is this big AI creature called Uriel, and he controls all of the people's ranks and everything like that. And so there was definitely a bigger story to Dance Collider that we were planning on getting into the game. But with 3 people, we found ourselves up against some of those storytelling elements. So we have a much bigger story ready to go.
Very cool.
We would have loved to put more, cut scenes and character pieces in the game. But we thought, let's try and get the game out there first to at least to people, and then down the track we've got a bigger story ready to go. But yeah, Uriel is this overseeing being, and you've got all the people competing in underground sort of competitions to rise up in rank.
Yeah.
So it's a futuristic setting. But Ben, I don't know if you want to expand on some of that.
Very awesome. I hope that emerges one day, right? Like
yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be so cool to get out there, the bigger picture.
Yeah.
No, I think Tim kind of summarized the story pretty well. And just from an artistic point of view, I guess, I took reference from the classics, the Blade Runner, the Tron, the cyberpunk kind of setting. But also I had worked on several other VR games before that. And almost every game also had, obviously some kind of themed lobby, a themed lobby. And I've done a few of these before. So for me, a cyberpunk, a game that was set in the future with a cyberpunk setting was kind of a no-brainer. I just thought we got to have this cool kind of underground, illicit kind of nightclub.
Sure.
That would be really cool. And like Tim said, I think we had probably a lot more ideas of how to expand that than we had time and money to achieve.
Well, I think it's hands down one of the coolest lobbies for sure.
Thank you.
Oh, that's cool. Glad you like it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I know I'm not the only one, because I've also seen people on Twitter like just do the lobby nightclub mixed reality portion.
Yeah.
Like that's it, right? And because it looks so good. Yeah.
The actual lobby was meant to be expanded on as well. Like you go up to a jukebox and do things. But it's a very cool little nightclub that Ben designed. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, the character design is awesome too. So, all right. So we have same question for the BoomBox team, right? And I guess whose idea and was it for the cat? Who gets the glory on that one?
I feel like you have a better backstory here, Bruno.
Yeah. So everything started when, like a year ago, we started to gather to have an idea for a game. We knew that we wanted to create a game, that's for sure. So the house that we used as our headquarters is the CEO of the company. So they have a cat.
Yeah.
So from the very first
actually maybe a real life cat this is based on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's her name is Pupa, and she was on every single meeting that we had. So we started meeting, and then it was kind of a natural evolution to the game, mainly because the game, like in virtual reality, you're on your own, right? So you're playing the game and you're having fun and everything. But if it's not a multiplayer game, then you're on your own. So we wanted to also showcase that company.
Have your like cat friend.
Exactly. Like whatever happened on the level, if you were good at it or if you weren't, the cat was going to be always there cheering you up. And it was also like for cat lovers, every time we show the cat to everyone, they fell in love. So it was like, okay, why not? There's also another interesting reason, and that's because the game has some environments, right? Like they move.
Yeah, the environments are awesome.
Exactly. Thanks. And those environments cause a little bit of nausea to people. So we needed to have a point of reference so that people could actually.
Very, very cool. So that's actually like a motion sickness reducing feature. So
exactly.
That is one very useful cat.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it served the purpose.
Yeah.
We were testing with different props, and the cat was the one.
I guess that probably does the cat have like a celebrity page or like the Instagram page? Any like in real life pictures?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we have so many pictures of the cat in real life.
More pictures than you'd want. The cat doesn't. It's like cats sometimes don't care. You know, dogs might be into their Instagrams, but you know, cats are just like,
yeah.
That's awesome. And the cat actually like makes like funny faces, like when you finish a song, right? A little bit, and then you can pet the cat too in the game.
Yeah. Exactly. So one of the main characteristics of Pupa is that she, like, her face is very grumpy. So she's always like this, right?
I feel the judgment when I fail a song.
Yeah. That like you see the cat in real life, and that's the first.
Okay, so that's like real life inspiration, mood.
Yeah.
Cat. Cool stuff.
Exactly.
All right. So that actually is good into our next question too, because one thing we found is that like with rhythm games, players get really into making their own maps. You know, is that Dance Collider team? Is that something you've seen? I know on the BoomBox side, we actually have a community mapping contest going on. But let's chat about that.
Yeah, we in terms of our mapping system, it's all in VR, so you don't have to exit it to a desktop computer and do it there. You can actually do it in VR. And yeah, our programmer Dion came up with it's a pretty cool system of being able to place nodes in the environment as the song plays back, whatever song you want to use, whatever MP3. It's a very cool system. Actually, all the songs in the game are designed that way as well. They're all in VR. I think that probably gives us, and even further down the track when we include more songs, we've sort of mastered the system, I think, in terms of it's taken us a while to figure it out. But we think it gives a bit more wider range of movements sort of possible, being able to do that in VR.
That is very true. Because then you don't, if you're making it in VR, you're probably not going to make mistakes. Like you're not going to cross your controllers and break your index controllers. And
that's right. I guess one of the drawbacks is, yes, you do have to get the rhythm on time. We have some features to snap it to the actual beat of the song. But they're things we've sort of added as it's progressed. And yeah, we find with the community, we've got a small community at the moment making some content, some songs and stuff like that. And we'd love to grow that community. And I think part of that is probably getting them used to creating it in VR.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just use desktop methods of, creating the beat maps. And it is hard, I think, for some people to get used to, but once you get used to placing the nodes and moving them around, it's a great way of doing it. Super quick as well, because you can basically you're just clicking the buttons where you want the node to be to the song. So it's super quick. We've got a small community at the moment. Yeah, we will be running some beat map sort of competitions and stuff as well on our Discord, and looking at getting that into a Quest version that we're sort of currently doing as well. So I think once we get it onto the Quest, I think people will probably pick up on that aspect of Dance Collider more once it's sort of got a bigger audience. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once there's probably like a widespread map editor that anybody with like a Quest 2 can load up.
Yeah,
That's probably going to be a big day for mapping.
Yeah, I think that's probably that's where we're aiming. So yeah, the editor, well, we're working on it at the moment, so it should definitely be included in the Quest version we do. So yeah, we're really looking forward to doing that. Yeah,
is that official? Like, can you guys like?
Well,
either confirm or deny on Quest version?
Oh, I think it definitely is coming to Quest, but maybe not on the Quest store at the moment. Just through App Labs to start with, but it's definitely happening. It's not that far off, actually. It's probably a couple of, you got to wait for approvals for Oculus, but it's working on the Quest at the moment.
So it's working on the Quest. It's just gone through approvals. So this is not a soon. This is a very soon thing.
Hopefully, if we get through all the Oculus approvals, very soon. Yeah. So I think initially it'll be through SideQuest because for some reason they, the Oculus doesn't allow us to go into the store. But initially through SideQuest and App Labs, and then see where that goes from there.
Well, this was an interesting factoid. I read like in Upload VR or Road to VR that like the reason App Lab approvals were taking so long is because they had 3 people working on it.
Yeah,
like, that was it. And they
It's quite a long approval process, even I think for us too. So it's weeks. Like, so even though the game's finished, I think it's a long wait. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm super eager to try it on Quest. I didn't know the Quest version was happening.
Yeah.
Like immediately. So whether it's on SideQuest or App Labs, it sounds like that's something people in the community can look forward to super soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the editor there, we'd love people to use it. And when that comes out, we'll run some competitions and mapping comps and stuff like that.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, because just wrapped up the Winter Games one. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah, nice. All right. So mapping is super, super key. I think, Alex, that was even your background, is you did a lot of mapping before this, right?
I did a lot of sorry. I did a lot of tournament organizations. So I was involved with reaching out to mappers to either map or use their maps for our competitions.
Very nice. Isn't it funny? Like we ran the Beat Saber tournament 3 years ago. And at the time, like it was the only, and the Beat Saber team had never run a tournament. And I think there had been one online one before that. And so like we worked with the Beat Saber team to do that. But now we're like 3 years later and we have specialized roles like, hey, got a mapper, got a tournament organizer, got like a caster, right?
Yeah. It's it feels a lot more organized now, a lot more established. Yeah. So like with our game, I think something that's super awesome is like, for example, with that Beat Saber tournament, there was only like so many songs that you could kind of pick from. But with BoomBox, we've actually licensed 250 songs, like specifically for community mapping. That way, people can map any song they want from that list, and we can use those for our official tournaments as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we have the winners, right? We can probably give them a shout out officially on stream. Can we do that? Is that okay?
Yeah. 100%. I bet they'd love that.
So the 3 and our Camilla Nasty Spell, right? And if I say this wrong, sorry everybody. Voitions Empire, right? From Wolf, from man, Alex, maybe you should take these. Discord names are hard to say sometimes. My own is impossible. Nobody ever says it right, but I don't blame them.
Yeah, so we had 3 winners. Our first winner was Kike Aeon, who maps Nasty Spell by Camellia. And then our second winner was Emikoto, who mapped Empire by Voitions. And then we also had, for our third winner, Wolf, who mapped Baptized in Fire by Cell Dweller. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm looking super forward to trying those myself. So those are basically hot off the presses. So that's awesome. And congrats to the winners of the community contest. They each get $100 each.
Yeah, they did such a good job. And I know that they've done mapping for other rhythm games in the past, and it really shows.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, congrats to the winners there. Bruno, it looks like you've had a hand in creating the mapper and the editor the most, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. What did that process look like?
I would like the short answer has been like in challenging, amazing. I love the experience. I've been loving it so far because it's been also a lot of learning about music, about how like the current mappers work, about how everything ties together. So it's been challenging, but it's been also amazing. One of the key things, for example, that we wanted to do with the mapper is that it should be as easy as possible, right? Because there are a lot of variables that can be considered. Professional programs that for audio have a lot of interfaces and everything, and we try to keep it as simple as possible, without removing the chance for people who had previous experience to actually create crazy maps. So that's one of kind of the core principles for it.
Nice. Well, definitely, it's making headways now. So people are creating maps, community maps. That's awesome. I got a question. So rhythm games are both super complicated and super simple to score. They're paradoxically both. One person from each team, if you could kind of explain your scoring system.
Yeah, well, I can explain our scoring system. So, we added in a mechanic called precision. We've also got power as well, and then the amount of nodes you hit in the game, as well as multipliers. So, I guess when it comes to precision, the player has a collider, a thing we call a collider on their hand, like many rhythm games, that you've got to strike a node coming towards it, and precision is based on the center piece of the collider hitting the center of the node, and you don't have to punch it. You can hit them like this, but as long as you're getting towards the center of the node, that's
really the center that matters. Yeah.
Precision scores you. Power is based on velocity, so you can hit the node in any direction. Doesn't have to be straight on again, and you get a score how fast you strike that node based on velocity. And then there's multipliers in the game, so that's a double hit in our game. So we usually try to put those on the drops of the songs, and you get a multiplier, and just works like a traditional multiplier. The more notes you hit after that, and get another multiplier, it'll times it by that amount. And then obviously there's the amount of notes you hit in the actual song. It was, for us, it's just a balancing act between the percentages of each one of those that adds up to the final score, which Dion, our programmer, did. But yeah, it is a fairly complicated system in terms of it's fairly simple, but the percentages that each one of those gives towards your end result, we've tried to balance out the precision one. At the moment, we're actually doing some updates to that one to get that percentage right in the final score, because we are just we're still balancing some of those things a little, just trying to improve them. But yeah.
And that can always be fine-tuned. Velocity is a really interesting one. I remember a couple years back when the engineers over at Valve had to update Steam VR because people were moving faster than they humanly thought possible.
Yeah. The velocity ones, for us, that was important to get in there because we want people moving and not just punching. We didn't want people just to punch, So as I said, you can hit it in any direction. But that was an important one just for the exercise aspect as well for Dance Collider. Like, it gets people moving instead of just standing there, putting your hands, following patterns like this. And the songs are designed in that way as well. So it's a little bit different to some of the other rhythm games where you can just hold your hands there and I think sometimes players do the difference between those two things. They'll find, sometimes it's not a hard transition, but they won't understand how we want them to sort of the scoring system.
Because you get in there and then you can sort of intuitively do it, but you have to really...
you can just do that as well, but you'll get a much higher score, yes, if you move fast and do that.
If you understand the scoring system.
Yeah.
For sure. So, and then on the BoomBox team, how does your scoring system work?
Yeah, so basically, in the game, there are these drums that fly towards you. And so you have a drumstick. It's about 40 centimeters in length. And there are 4 main aspects to scoring. So there's timing, angle, velocity, and aim. The most important 2 are timing and aim. So when it kind of, as long as you're hitting the notes with a decent amount of force, we're checking the velocity from the tip of the drumstick. And you're approaching it at a correct angle, so you're actually hitting it in the direction the drum wants you to hit it. It practically boils down to 85 points for timing and 15 for aim.
Okay.
For timing, it's realistic to get the full 85 points consistently. For aim, it's a little bit harder, so we kind of consider that as like a bonus, and that'll keep the skill ceiling really high. But it's still realistic to hit like consistent 100 points per note for your swings if you practice enough.
Yeah, I think BoomBox has like both very like approachable games for like newcomers to it, but BoomBox also has some crazy intense songs out of the box.
Oh yeah, it's super great.
Yeah,
For our game, we brought in experienced mappers from other rhythm games. They're a group called Atlas Rhythm, and they have like a whole bunch of experience just across like so many different VR rhythm games, and they did such a great job with our OST.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Atlas Rhythm has done a good job and worked with a lot of great things. So the mapping is fantastic.
Yeah, and so I just want to finish off by saying we do have like a combo system, like a multiplier in the game. So once you hit 50 combo, it caps out at 1.2 times multiplier. We kept the multiplier pretty low because we found that for competition, players like consistency a lot more than, oh no, I hit one note and suddenly it's just game over completely.
Yeah.
Like if you see a game like Osu, for example, where every single hit increases your multiplier by 1, it's like you could be playing like a 7-minute long song and then suddenly you just miss one note halfway through and you just got to scrap the entire thing.
Yeah.
So
Osu's intense. I know we have our finalists for BoomBox tomorrow. They're all taking notes on this, but like Osu has like international competitions. They have teams where people play, right? And you get your combined team score. And then they have people represent different nations. There's like a whole Osu scene that's it's pretty intense. All right. Next question. What role does streaming tools like Live play in your game?
Yeah, so after you.
Yeah, Tim, if you want to go first.
Ben, do you want to talk a little bit about Lives?
Sorry, my bad.
I'll go quickly. I guess for us it was giving. In our case, we dance battle against avatars, so that was the way that we could kind of, incorporate Live and show our player dancing off against certain characters. Obviously, that was something it enabled. But even just before that, I think when we originally launched the game and we were trying to work out how to market the game and get it out there and show people the experience, the VR experience, it's quite hard to do.
For sure.
How do you convey the kind of in VR experience. And obviously, like, this is not just us, this is everyone. But, you know, for us, it was part of it, incorporating Live and giving us that tool to more easily convey to people, even from a marketing point perspective, you know, what is it like to play this game in VR, and what kind of experience are you going to get? I guess.
Yeah, it just makes so much more sense when you see that person playing in mixed reality versus like a 2D version of a rhythm game. So
sure.
Yeah. And Alex, I think the Live version is working, but you know, under optimization on the BoomBox side.
Yeah, so
right. So
we have a lot of optimization plans still to go, because we would love to get the game on Quest as well. We have a lot of plans, but for anyone who's experiencing any kind of performance issues, we've also released a bunch of lightweight environments so that people can play with lower spec machines for now.
Very nice.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed that's great about the BoomBox team is you guys are like incredibly responsive to the community. You've like built that from like the very first day. Like you listen, like you guys are.
We talk to them every single day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great sign. So good job on that. All right, so let's chat about your very top tier players. What are your top 3 players look like? Like what makes them a little bit different, and who are they? I guess we'll find out on BoomBox a little bit tomorrow. We sort of know who your like top players are. Tim and Ben, you guys just had I think awarded the some of the top 3. What do your guys' top players look like?
Yeah, I guess they're quite hardcore players. So in Dance Collider originally, we just had easy, difficulty, medium, and we called it pro, I think it is. That was the initial sort of release. And obviously those skill levels, easy was very basic. Medium, still quite basic. And then pro was a little harder, but quite lenient still, because we wanted to, I guess, allow people to get through the songs and experience the music without cutting them off for failing too early. But we found on our Discord after a while, we had people saying, "Oh, look, we'd like a harder mode." And so, yeah, I think about 6 months ago, we put in extreme mode, and yeah, it's really hard. So our hardcore players, we find the really good ones. I can barely get through a song on extreme. It's very hard. Like if you miss 3 or 4 notes, you're out. But the hardcore players, love the challenge, like love getting through it. The score is obviously extremely important to those players. And we found that in the tournament. This is why we're going to release a couple of updates to the scoring system, because it could be 100 points, but it is so important for the people competing on leaderboards, the hardcore players. And that's what we do, have those hardcore players of Dance Collider. And I think catering to them as well as the new people that come on board is really important for us as well. But yeah, everything is important to them. Precision. How does the power mechanic work? Like, can I hit it in any direction? How does it affect precision, multipliers? And all their feedback on the Discord we're putting into versions going forward. So just improving it all the time for those players. But they're quite competitive, very competitive as well. So yeah.
Very cool. I on rhythm games, I sort of top out like usually top 5%. And because I'm like a score chaser myself, right? So like an Audica, top 2%.
Oh, that's good.
And Beat Saber, I was ranked pretty highly for a minute there. But like there's just something like I don't know if it's called like gamer blood or something like that, where like the super intense people, like Garsh is one of those people. And he competes across a ton of rhythm games, and he's in the finals this weekend for BoomBox.
Okay, that is super exciting.
Yeah, that is like some superhuman ability right there, right?
Just like skill.
Yeah, and I'm not there. I enjoy it, and I'll chase and repeat it myself. But just credit to the top players there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Alex, you've probably as a tournament organizer, you've seen a ton of that.
Yeah, so with BoomBox, our top 3 players, and I guess I'll list them off in order of their qualifier results, because I think the qualifiers captured like their player skills so well.
Mhm.
So our number 1 player right now is Lethal. He's a drummer in real life,
Very
so
nice.
he's actually nailed like the rhythm down in our game almost instantly. Like his skills transferred over so well, and he's probably the best for like all of the like fastest songs in the game generally. And then we also have Garsh, who like super incredible rhythm gamer, VR gamer in general. You see him
Mhm.
competing in a lot of these events, especially within the Winter Games.
Yeah, he's done a ton.
Yeah, he's huge and just everywhere. And then we also have Ayla Lira. She's probably the best accuracy player in our game, period. Like
Very
she's
nice.
just completely shattering like every single thing that we thought would be possible like around this time. Like our game has only been out for 3 weeks on Steam, and she's already like almost getting perfect scores on some of these songs, which is just absolutely nuts.
I think in the Discord, you have like a ping or like a roll for like when somebody hits a new world record, right?
Yeah. We
Very
post
cool.
announcements for those because these people, they spend so much time. Like,
Yeah.
you see them in the Discord like every day. Like sometimes they're just hanging out there and they're just like playing for hours and hours, and it's just so wonderful to see.
Yeah. Well, I'm stoked for the finals this weekend and just see who's gonna end up on top here.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a question, a staple, because a big part of the Winter Games actually is like fitness and athletics and other stuff like that. And we'll go in the same order. Dance Collider team, are people playing your game for fitness or workout, and how so?
Yeah, Ben. Oh, do you want me to?
The answer is most definitely they are. Well, I think Tim, you had more contact with some of the people last year.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I guess the audience are definitely playing it for fitness. We know in a lot of the comments we get back on Discord as well, people, it's been helping, get people fit. They enjoy it. It's a massive aspect of Dance Collider, which is why we included some of those mechanics I talked about, like getting people moving is important for us. So it's a big audience. Yeah, I remember, just recently you just wrote to me an email and sent me a picture, but we have a player called Ben who came up with his own face sweat mask for Dance Collider. It's like a plastic bag.
Never makes you sweaty.
That's
plastic impossible.
Bag, and he cut the hole. He sent me a picture of it, cut the hole out of here, put the headset on, and it's like some sort of sweat catcher. You do sweat a lot in Dance Collider, I will say that. It does get you sweating. So he came up with his own thing. I think now he just wrote me an email a couple of days ago saying that he has transitioned to other sweat face, like, the face inserts.
Okay, so he's not going to make this on Etsy?
No, it was literally a plastic bin bag that he cut a hole in and had some sort of sweat dripping thing. I can't imagine how that would make you feel any better, but that is what he did. But yeah, also we've had some emails from players. We had one from an older lady who was using Dance Collider as a rehabilitation.
Very nice.
Sort of tool. So yeah, she hurt her back, and so was using it for stretching and stuff like that. So we've had in terms of fitness and exercise, I think that's a large majority of players for us play it for that, and they regularly go into a lot of other rhythm games as well and try and vary it up with the different rhythm games, but as part of their exercise routine.
Yeah, there's something magical and awesome about like VR for fitness and all of that stuff. And it's awesome because you don't have to be like a top tier player. You can just play and you get so rad.
Yeah, it's great. It's so good.
BoomBox team, fitness on your guys' side.
Yeah, so we've definitely seen people play with like fitness as their primary goal, but I'd say that the majority of our players just play the game, I guess, like for the game. and the fitness just kind of comes naturally along the way.
Like a secondary benefit, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of research about like in VR and with like music especially, it like dulls your body's like natural reaction to fatigue, so you can push yourself a little bit harder and kind of get a longer lasting workout in VR, which is super great, especially when like Dance Collider and BoomBox, like these games are where if you want to be competitive, you need to be able to put in a lot of energy. So it's really great that that like this is the case, because players get fit by trying to be good at the game that they want to play, which is just really awesome.
I personally hope that in like 20 years, whether we're living in like ocean cities or, you know, like floating space pods in the sky or on Mars with Elon Musk, right? Like, I hope that there's like a really cool, like everyone does rhythm games, right? Like you just wake up, you're like, hey, I got my 30 minutes of rhythm games in, and for the day.
That's the dream.
Yeah. All right. And so that will be, we'll do one more question for me, and then we might take an audience question or two. Yeah, that's a great question. Like, where do you see, and we'll just get an answer real quick from everybody. Where do you see rhythm games in like 10 years in VR?
You want to go first, Bruno?
Yeah, Bruno, do you want to go first on this one?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I see a very bright future for all rhythm games, honestly, because it is interesting how it ties together a lot of like expression, like like human expression, music, dancing, exercise. It's amazing, and like proof of that is all the games and basically everything that surrounds the games, the community, and everything. So I agree with what you said. Even in the future, if we live in like different like pods or something, I'm quite sure that we will be exercising ourselves with some kind of rhythm game. So I see it like very bright future.
Very nice. Yeah, hopefully it's like a good future, not like Ready Player One, where like the live in trailers, right?
I never saw anyone play rhythm games from Ready Player One, so
true. And hopefully less Sword Art Online. So, although that's also pretty dope. Like the world of Sword Art Online is pretty badass. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, that's kind of true. It's kind of tempting, even though it's
yeah, even though like you can die and your family's like, oh no, they died in Sword Art Online. That's grim.
Yeah.
All right. So Ben, where do you see rhythm games like in 10 years?
Maybe I'll speak from the point of Dance Collider, and I think one thing that what we're interested in trying was the idea of, and I think Bruno touched upon this, and the idea is that it's not an isolated experience going into VR, and that you could in our case, battle against someone or dance off against someone in a more multiplayer kind of way. So that I think that's one thing that we were very interested in early on in Dance Collider, was the idea of, you've probably all seen the idea of dance battles, where it's like the call and respond. And I'd like to see maybe, I think, the next 5 or 10 years where that goes. So it maybe evolves from more of an isolated single player experience to include more people in the virtual space.
Yeah. That's probably very true. Somebody's going to come up with a hit for a multiplayer, like the way that's never been done for a rhythm game before, and it's going to be awesome. So,
yeah.
All righty. Tim.
Yeah. I guess in 10 years, when we're floating in space with our headsets, living in our urban jungles, wherever we are. I think
pods.
Yeah, and the pods. Definitely the movement aspects of being able to express yourself, and especially with rhythm games, it's so intertwined with music as well. So I feel that, music's not going away. Rhythm games will not go away in the future. They'll incorporate, I think, definitely more more community aspects, multiplayer aspects. And the advantage is that, you do get exercise doing them. So, it doesn't matter where you are, you can still have a fun experience and get some exercise and movement. So I think in the future that'll be important when everyone is sitting down in their pods, being able to get out for, an hour, listen to some cool music. Maybe in 10 years, like you'll be able to put any song in and, it'll just be probably be all linked into Spotify. They'll have like a rhythm games section, and artists will have their own things. And, there's a bright future for rhythm games, I think. For
sure. Maybe we'll all laugh at the size of the Vive trackers and the fact that like only people could like track.
Absolutely. There'll be none of that in 10 years. It'll somehow just pick up your body movement. It'll be so cool.
Yeah.
And your feet. It'd be cool to get some feet.
Yeah, because right now it's like mostly like hands.
Yeah. It'd be cool to get some whole body movement in there. It's just obviously on a developing side with the trackers, and not everyone's got them, but in the future I'm sure we'll be able to track the whole body, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex.
Yeah, so I totally agree. Like the whole body thing, that's going to be huge in the future. I mean, if you look back in time and you start looking at how rhythm games have progressed, it becomes more about precisely tracking your body movement. So now that we have VR, we're tracking like our physical movement, our acceleration, speed, everything, like all the time. With DDR, it's like just buttons on the ground. And so the motion comes from moving between those buttons, but it's not necessarily tracking you between each button press. Yeah. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that, where like every single part of your body matters in the future. And I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, let's mark it down. 2031.
31, yes.
Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, well, if there's any audience like on the Twitch stream questions, we can go ahead and ask those. But I guess we'll also, if you guys had like one thing you'd want people to know about your game or find out, just any updates, what would those be? I think we've chatted a little bit about them, but if people who watch this on Twitch now or are going to watch it on YouTube later, what would you want them to know? So Dance Collider team first.
Yeah, well, I guess let's tie back into what we hinted on before. I think it's, in Dance Collider, we made an attempt to really push the dance element of it. We wanted, like Tim said, our goal was to get people's body moving, and I think, as we said, we're hopefully weeks away from getting the game up there on Quest, at least.
Very nice.
So, yeah, really excited for people who don't know Dance Collider or haven't heard of it before, maybe to jump in and give it a try. And, maybe you'll end up being one of our hardcore players. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. Fingers crossed. I'm super stoked to try it on Quest. BoomBox team.
Yeah, Bruno, I think you should definitely tease some of the stuff coming to the editor.
What is going to come up? So we're right now working on, as Alex mentioned, having a set of songs that the community can use. So that is going to be available pretty soon, actually. And I don't want to spoil like anything else, but that's one of the main things.
Very cool. I've heard lots of exciting things from the BoomBox team today, so on the different panels. So that's awesome. All right. So that's I think let's just wrap it up the panel here. Appreciate everybody in the Twitch chat today who showed up. You can catch this on YouTube later. We are picking this up again on panels again with the Blast On and Wands panel at 8 a.m. Mountain, 10 Eastern. A little bit later for the Europeans. I expect Tim and Ben, you guys will probably be asleep then.
Yeah, probably.
I think so. So hoping you guys have a good day. And then the BoomBox finals are tomorrow after the panels. And so we have a bunch of finals this weekend. Check those all out, and we should be good to go.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks for having us.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for making the time. All right. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. All right.
Thank you, guys.